A woman stood in front of a mirror and asked the question, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" The mirror said, "Oh, honey, the fairest? You? Sweetheart, the only thing fair about you is how you treat your reflection, like a crime scene. Let's break it down. Hair? Looks like a raccoon lost a fight with a lawnmower and glued the evidence to your scalp. Body? Girl, you move like you're smuggling bowling balls under that sweater. Commit to the chaos or hit the gym. Pick a lane. Face? The bags under your eyes have more luggage than an airport carousel. And that natural glow? Babe, that's just the lighting hiding the fact you cried into a bag of crisps last night. But sure, keep asking me, a literal piece of glass with commitment issues. Who's the fairest? Spoiler, it's the filter on your ex's new girlfriend's Instagram. Now go touch some grass before you manifest a unibrow out of sheer self-pity. The woman stares, half laughing. Well, that escalated quickly. Okay, let's be honest. That mirror's voice? It's not just a joke. It's the same soundtrack that plays in millions of women's heads every single day. We laugh because it's ridiculous, but deep down we know it's familiar. The mirror isn't cruel. It's just repeating everything the world has whispered to us since we were little. Magazines, adverts, filters, opinions, layer after layer until that voice started sounding like our own. This episode isn't really about the mirror at all. It's about the programming behind it and how to rewrite it. So let's take a breath wipe off the fog and start looking at what beauty actually means beyond the glass, beyond the noise, back to truth. They didn't always sell beauty the way they do now. Once upon a time, a wrinkle was a memory, a line drawn by laughter or by weather and work. But somewhere between post-war posters and glossy magazines, someone realized you could make a fortune convincing women they were broken. Advertising learned a new trick. If you invent a flaw, you can sell the cure. Dry skin became a crisis, gray hair a moral failure, softness a sin. Every decade rewrote the rules. The 50s told women to stay delicate. The 70s told them to be free. The 90s told them to be thin. And social media told them to be all of it at once. No wonder we're exhausted. The industry didn't just sell products, it sold mirrors that only reflected lack. Buy this and you'll feel worthy became the quiet gospel of modern womanhood. Even language changed, flawless, ageless, anti-wrinkle, each word pretending to be a compliment, while whispering that time itself is an enemy. And so the mirror learned the script, repeating back the slogans until they sounded like thoughts. The tragedy is, most of us believed it. We learned to apologize for taking up space, to hide our joy lines with concealer, to mistake approval for love. Whole generations of women grew up fluent in self-correction, but barely conversational in self-kindness. Pause a moment. Think of how many hours we've lost to mirrors, to fixing, comparing, erasing, when we could have been living. But here's the truth the adverts forgot to print. You were never the problem. The problem was profitable. So today we start remembering what our grandmothers knew before the billboards came, that beauty was never something you earned, it was something you already carried. And in the next part, we'll walk into the age of social media, where the mirror multiplied, and everyone started performing for their own reflection. When the internet handed us cameras, the mirror multiplied. One became 1,000, each glowing quietly in our pockets. We started calling it connection, but mostly it became comparison. Every scroll another reflection, a life edited to look effortless. We used to compare ourselves to the women in magazines. Now we compare ourselves to the women next door, the ones who mastered filters and ring lights and perfect captions. And somewhere in between likes and algorithms, the line between reality and performance blurred. Social media didn't invent insecurity, it just gave it Wi-Fi. Every platform runs on the same silent equation. Your attention equals their income. The longer you look, the smaller you feel, the more you buy. It's not accidental, it's design. The feed scrolls endlessly because it's cheaper to keep you scrolling than to make you happy. But there's something they didn't calculate. The human heart can feel the difference between genuine connection and digital theater. We know when joy is staged. We sense when perfection tastes plastic. Every filter is a tiny lie, but every laugh line is a confession of life lived. Which one do you think holds more truth? Here's the paradox. The same screens that steal confidence can also give it back when we use them to tell the truth. When a woman posts her unfiltered face, she's not seeking validation, she's breaking a spell. You can almost hear the algorithm hesitate, confused by the beauty of imperfection. That's power. So, next time the mirror in your hand tells you to shrink, remember who built that mirror and why. Then close the app, step into real light, and notice how much softer the world looks when you stop competing with pixels. Because comparison is a thief, but awareness is a locksmith. And the key has been in your hand this whole time. Stay with me because next we'll look at what all this comparison costs us, emotionally and physically, and how to start healing from the inside out. Comparison isn't harmless, it's quiet self-exhaustion. Every time we measure our lives against someone else's highlight reel, a little piece of peace disappears. You start the day fine, then you scroll, and suddenly your kitchen looks small, your job feels pointless, your body wrong. You didn't change, the lens did. Psychologists call it upward comparison, but to most of us it just feels like failure in HD. Your brain can't tell the difference between threat and judgment, so every scroll releases a hit of stress hormones, like you're in a race you never signed up for. And that stress has a cost. It dulls creativity, kills rest, and whispers that your worth is conditional. That voice in the mirror, it gets louder every time we believe that lie. We start performing instead of living, smiling through burnout, posting through tears, wearing confidence like armor while we crumble underneath. The body can't keep pretending forever. It breaks in subtle ways first. The headaches, the sleeplessness, the ache that has no name. Then comes the emotional fatigue, that quiet emptiness where joy used to live. We call it stress, but it's actually self-betrayal, the distance between who we are and who we think we should be. But here's the truth, most timelines won't tell you. There's nothing wrong with you for feeling tired. The world asks too much and applauds too little. We were never designed to compete with everyone at once. So when you feel that heaviness, don't add guilt to it. Let it be a signal, not a sentence. It's your soul saying, enough, take the pressure off. You don't need to optimize your existence. You need to experience it. To sit in the sunlight without turning it into content. To breathe without branding it self-care. The truth is, peace doesn't photograph well, but it feels incredible. In the next segment, we'll talk about the masks we wear to hide all this pain and how to start taking them off. We all wear them, some made of makeup, some made of manners, some stitched together with, I'm fine. The mask starts innocent, a bit of polish to face the world, a smile to make others comfortable. But over time, the smile becomes a survival tool. It stays on even when we're breaking. Ask a woman how she is, and she'll often answer, busy. Busy has become the acceptable disguise for pain. If you're busy, you're productive. And if you're productive, maybe no one will notice you're falling apart. We wear the good friend mask, the good mom mask, the career woman who never cracks mask. Each one protecting us from judgment, but also from intimacy. Behind every perfect selfie, there's usually a sigh. Behind every flawless routine, a pile of unwashed thoughts waiting to be tended. The mask whispers, don't let them see the mess. Oh, but here's the irony. The mess is the most human part of you. It's where empathy grows. Masks have their uses. Sometimes they help us feel safe, but the danger is forgetting to take them off. When the mask becomes your face, you start to lose your reflection. Real connection can only breathe in honesty, and honesty needs air. It's okay to be the one who says, I'm not okay today. It doesn't make you weak, it makes you real. And the moment you drop the mask, you give everyone around you permission to do the same. That's how communities heal, one honest breath at a time. So if today your smile feels heavy, set it down for a while. The world won't end if you rest. You might just find your own face again. Stay with me because next, we'll talk about what happens when we finally stop performing and start rebuilding self-worth from the inside out. Every woman I know owns a mask. Some have whole collections. We learn early which one to wear for which room. The pleasant smile for the office, the patient nod for family, the brave face for friends who call us strong. And somewhere beneath all those layers, a quieter self waits to exhale. Masks start as protection, a way to keep the world from seeing our raw edges. but wear them too long and they start to shape the skin underneath. We pretend we're fine because fine is easier than explaining why we're not. We laugh too loud so no one hears the tired behind it. We post quotes about resilience while wondering when rest stopped being allowed. But here's the secret about masks. They don't just hide pain. They block connection. No one can love what we never show. And eventually the weight of pretending becomes heavier than the truth itself. So how do we begin to take them off? Gently, with honesty and a little humor. Start small, admit you're tired, say you don't have it all together. Watch how relief replaces judgment in the eyes of people who hear you. Because the moment one woman removes her mask, it gives permission for others to do the same. That's how healing spreads, not through perfection, but through permission. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is to stop performing happiness and start practicing it. So tonight, when you stand in front of the mirror, ask yourself, who am I? Beneath the roles, beneath the expectations, beneath the need to appear okay. Then take a breath and answer honestly. That answer, the one you whisper when no one else is listening, is the beginning of freedom. In the next segment, we'll look at how to turn that honesty into healing and how to start building a kinder relationship with the self that waits behind the mask. Healing doesn't start with grand gestures. It starts with tiny moments of truth. A breath that isn't rushed. A meal you eat without guilt. A quiet no when your body says it's done. Most of us wait for a perfect time to begin. But healing doesn't care about schedules. It only needs your willingness to stop fighting yourself. The first step is learning to listen. Not to the noise of trends or timelines, but to the voice that whispers beneath them. The one that says, I'm tired. I miss me. Listen. Then give that voice what it needs. Maybe it's sleep. Maybe it's solitude. Maybe it's a walk outside where nobody expects anything from you. Forgiveness helps too. Not the kind that erases the past, but the kind that releases its grip. Forgive yourself for the years spent apologizing for existing. Forgive the people who taught you to shrink. Forgive the mirror for learning their language. When you stop waging war with your reflection, your energy returns for living. You notice how sunlight feels like reassurance, how silence starts sounding like safety. Healing isn't a straight line. It's a dance between remembering and forgetting, between the ache and the exhale. But every time you choose gentleness over judgment, you move closer to peace. You'll know it's working when ordinary moments start feeling holy again. When laughter comes easier, when the body feels like home instead of punishment, that's not magic, that's alignment. So if you're waiting for a sign to begin, this is it. Start where you are, with what you have, and trust that it's enough. Because healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you otherwise. In the next segment, we'll explore self-kindness in practice, simple ways to make peace with the mirror and with yourself. We talk about self-love like it's an emotion, but most days it's a practice. It's not a glowing affirmation on a bathroom mirror. It's what you do when no one's watching. Self-kindness starts in small, un-Instagrammable moments. It's leaving the dishes till morning because your body says rest. It's speaking to yourself the way you'd comfort a friend. It's remembering that progress isn't linear and healing doesn't have a deadline. Try this each morning. When you look in the mirror, don't search for flaws. Look for evidence of survival. Notice the soft eyes that have seen everything and still choose hope. Notice the mouth that speaks kindness even when it trembles. That's strength, not vanity. Language matters. Replace I should be better with I'm learning. Replace I look tired with I deserve rest. The words you whisper become the world you live in. Every kind sentence rewires the pattern the mirror once echoed. Then extend that kindness outward. Compliment other women without comparison. Send gratitude instead of envy. Because every time you celebrate another person's light, your own burns brighter. And when the old voice returns, the one that measures worth in likes and lines, meet it with humor. Say, oh, hello again. You're not in charge anymore. Smile. It disarms the critic faster than any argument. Over time, these small acts accumulate. Self-kindness turns into self-trust. Self-trust becomes self-respect. And self-respect blooms into peace. You don't need a perfect morning routine to be worthy. You just need moments of honesty and the courage to treat yourself like someone you plan to keep. In the next segment, we'll close this journey, return to the mirror one last time, and see what happens when the reflection finally speaks truth. You smile, because this time the voice in the mirror sounds like yours. You whisper, I'm beautiful because I try, because I'm kind, because I learn, I grow, and I'm still here. I am not flawless, I am human, and that's the most extraordinary thing I could ever be. The mirror glows quietly as if relieved. It was never your enemy, only your echo. And now that echo has changed its tune. Outside, the world still shouts its opinions, but they sound smaller now. You've met yourself, and the meeting was holy. So next time you catch your reflection, don't ask for validation, offer gratitude. Thank the face that carried you through storms, the eyes that stayed open when everything else closed. Thank the woman who kept showing up, even when she doubted her worth. Because she is you, and she is enough. This has been The Mirror Lied, a story about the voices we inherit and the truth we can reclaim. If this message resonated with you, leave a comment, share your story, and remember, you were never supposed to look perfect, only alive. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being part of this reflection. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and stay beautifully human. This has been Valkyrie, where we don't just find the light, we become the light. Don't forget to like and subscribe.